Hello and welcome back to CoinLady channel. I've come across some new data that suggests the SEC may soon classify Ethereum as an unregistered security. I do not want the SEC to classify Ethereum as an unregistered security, as it looks to be doing. This is apparently not being published at all, and it led to a lot of misunderstanding during Gary Kinsler's testimony yesterday, according to material I found and information I acquired from a former SEC officer. In this video, I hope to inform you of my findings. Near the end of the video, I'll break down the situation and explain why I'm not worried about the United States' current stance towards the cryptocurrency industry. Some people are getting worried that the United States might ban cryptocurrency and risk losing this innovation to another country. Near the end of the video, I'll explain why I'm not really worried about this. Recent developments have bolstered my faith that the United States will get this under control. You'll need to see the whole thing to get it. I think it's important for everyone here to see that before we start the video. I'd like to address a current problem facing the XRP community. There is now a lot of talk about nodes abandoning the XRP blockchain. To explain why I hold this view, I feel it necessary to draw a key contrast regarding the design of the XRP ledger. As a result, more and more of the older retail nodes that were run independently by different people have begun to shut down and leave the XRP ledger. The XRPL's lack of centralization is a source of worry for many. So let me begin by presenting what I believe to be an extremely important statement right now. Many potential new nodes are being prevented from joining the XRP ledger as a result of the Ripple SEC case. Since several initiatives have expressed interest in building on the XRP ledger but have yet to do so, they are waiting for the resolution of this dispute. The reason for this is that building the XRP ledger serves no current function. Depending on the outcome of the Ripple case, XRP could either become the most or least compliant cryptocurrency in circulation. Therefore, jumping to conclusions is not a good idea. You should hold off taking any action until you see how this issue evolves. Most of these initiatives receive negligible sums of money. They want to make the best use of those resources, so if waiting a few months for the resolution of the Ripple SEC case is necessary to get the clarity needed to build your project on the XRP ledger, they will do so. Any astute businessperson, I assume, would go with that option. As a result, many of the XRP ledger nodes will require information before they can be built. Since not operating a node on the XRP ledger ultimately does not make you any less compliant, the choice to actually exit the XRP ledger at this time is substantially simpler. The only benefit is a lower danger for you. Since the SEC has made it difficult for anything to exit the XRP ledger, the current situation is unbalanced in favor of the ledger's participants. When projects are racing to finish on the books, I'm convinced that something will happen out of the blue to completely upend the status quo. When compared to other cryptocurrencies, XRP is far more regulated than its competitors. Specifically, not at this very moment. That's probably why the total number of new nodes is slightly lower than the total number of nodes leaving the ledger. Ultimately, I think this problem will go away once the Ripple SEC matter is resolved. Now that I've covered that, I want to move on to another extremely important point, as many in the XRP community have speculated that the absence of an incentive to operate an XRP validator is the real reason, and not the Ripple SEC case. I agree that more stores would participate if they were compensated for hosting an XRP node. However, I think it's critical to understand how Ripple first launched the XRP. I know that Ripple didn't invent the XRP, but I'm going to say it anyway because I know it will enrage certain people. This is just to clarify my point. Initially, the XRP was designed for use in monetary transactions. As NFTs from retail efforts have begun to accrue on the ledger, the original purpose for which it was formed within the organization no longer holds. However, the XBL original purpose was to function as a worldwide settlement system. Large institutional users of the XRP ledger would also oversee their own validators and nodes not for financial gain but because doing so would improve their own operations. Now, widespread institutional adoption is being stymied by the SEC and other US government agencies. To date, there hasn't been an efficient method for the many institutions that wish to adopt the XRP and would likely build nodes and validators for the XRP to maintain its health to do so. Now, once more, I think this problem will be solved when institutional use grows. As more and more users of the XRP ledger sign up, a validator will be developed. A large organization like Bank of America can create a validator far more quickly and easily than an individual can. Validators have a high price tag. Upkeep costs can add up quickly. And this is how Ripple planned for the network to operate all along. Since all the institutions were virtually removed from the equation, validators were left to be developed by the retail sector in order to fill the void. I don't think it will be confined to institutions at the end of the day. In my opinion, the retail industry will continue to thrive. However, you should know that the SEC and the US government are to blame for these peculiar imbalances because they subsidize the creation of validators and nodes. The free market has been crippled as a result. And that's presumably why we're seeing a slight drop in the total number of validators and nodes. Because we all worry about health and hope for it to be as decentralized as possible in the future, I think this is just a transitory problem. Institutions, retail projects, and retailers will likely all host nodes on the XRP ledger once the XRPL is stable. We're merely at an unusual standstill for the time being. I don't think it will endure very long. To state my case, ideally, there would be no benefit to operating a validator at all. Validators should be operated for the benefit of the payment network, not for financial gain. At this juncture, I'd like to elaborate on a fascinating chat I just had with a former member of the Securities and Exchange Commission. One of the most puzzling parts of Gary Gensler's testimony yesterday was that he refused to comment on the state of Ethereum. One of the reasons for the ambiguity was that the SEC has already said they do not believe Ethereum to be a security. We also know that, behind the scenes, Gary Gensler has often stated his opinion that Ethereum is a security. He all but implied as much. As a result, many are wondering why he didn't just give his opinion. What the heck is going on? Former SEC employee was subject to my intense interrogation. For what reason is Gary Gensler unwilling to talk about Ethereum? For a moment there, I thought I'd checkmated him. Regarding Ethereum, he had nothing to say. It's hard to see how he could defend Gary Gensler's contention that Bitcoin is not a security. In addition, he made a fascinating observation. I won't bore you with the details, but he basically said that Gary Gensler shouldn't have anything to say about cryptocurrencies since he views them as securities. To suggest otherwise would be to accuse them of illegally offering a security, thus he must remain silent if he suspects this is the case. And he can't do that without first doing some investigating. In such case, what does it mean? Therefore, Gary Gensler's silence on the matter signals that he views Ethereum as an unregistered security and plans to take action against it. If he hadn't believed it, he could have easily disproved the tales and provided his own analysis. He might have argued that Ethereum is not a security because it is not formally offered to the public. Personally, I think it could have been fine. However, he could not go on record as saying that he thought Ethereum was an unregistered security because that would have amounted to him passing judgment without gathering sufficient evidence. Right now, you might have such an absurd idea. The SEC has to make that call, not me. Mark and I had a debate over the validity of this line of thinking. What Mark is saying sounds a lot like what I've been saying, that Ethereum is a security that hasn't been registered. Yes, Mark agreed, that might be taken that way. From what I can tell, this is because Gary Gensler considers Ethereum to be a security that has not been properly registered. Do I think that's good news now, given what we've learned? Do you agree that it's great that Ethereum is finally getting its due? Absolutely not. No. I think we're heading in the wrong direction completely. To be clear, is a desire shared by all. They want to find a means to build legally in the United States for the next quarter of a century. There is no need to argue over the precise nature of these resources. All that is required is that we understand them and put them into practice. I'm sure lots of folks will pick up on it and send you well wishes. That's never going to happen, but I'm confident we can find a solution. Even though I was worried, I now realize that the fact that everyone else is doing it gives me hope that we will work it out in the United States as well. Stuart Alderotti tweeted yesterday. Yesterday's appeal hearing regarding Genesis was held without me. I'm currently in London, meeting with colleagues and contributing to the company's growth. From where I'm sitting, it looks like the SEC is completely inept. Everyone else is doing it. That is to say, the rest of the world is currently ignoring the SEC in the same way it is ignoring the United States. And I was worried it wouldn't come to pass. When I thought about the United States, I pictured the enormous, ugly United States that everyone talks about. We are obligated to do as they say. We need to work together because we can't do anything by ourselves. U.S. models should be used. However, that is not happening at all. These other countries are aware of the technological advantage we are giving up. They are aware of the impending overseas expansion and new store construction. This is their chance to retake cyberspace. Since the United States is the country that pioneered the internet, it's only natural that other countries would assume that if we throw open our borders, new networks would spring up in the United States as well. Russia has recently been working on legislation that would legalize the use of cryptocurrency in international trade settlement. Typical solutions, such as "Hey, build a project here," won't cut it with these complications. The precedent is set for the widespread adoption of blockchain and cryptocurrency for everyday monetary transactions. This is so massive that the United States will have no choice but to agree. What would the United States do if Russia insisted that they be paid in cryptocurrencies if they wanted to purchase oil from them? They need a strategy to keep their popularity in the United States. They call for a plan of action. To solve this problem, the United States must come up with a solution, even though certain dishonest politicians are currently striving to hinder innovation. I would be more worried if a majority of countries agreed with the United States that we should ban this technology. Gee, but that's not what our eyes are seeing. The opposite is actually occurring. This is the best possible outcome because it will finally get the US government to regulate this industry and hold them accountable. Therefore, I value your presence here very much, gentlemen. I trust you enjoyed this bit of news. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.